Live long enough and you'll get arthritis, skin cancer, probably one of the common chronic diseases like CHF, COPD, diabetes. At All County Healthcare, we teach you how to manage your disease. We make sure you know how to take your medications and how to recognize signs and symptoms before requiring hospitalization, no matter how many visits it takes. You didn't move to Florida to be sick. You moved here to enjoy the rest of your life. And that's exactly what our team of nurses, therapists, and aides at All County Healthcare help you do.
The following programming is furnished by you and your doctor.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Amp2.tv presents You and Your Doctor, teaching you to live a longer and healthier life. Proudly sponsored by All County Healthcare, where people are the heart of our business. All County Healthcare is a Medicare certified agency where one call will service all your home care health needs. For more information, call 954-717-7027 or visit our website, allcountyhealthcare.com. Now, let's get informed to living a longer and healthier life. Here is your host for today's show.
Welcome, everyone, and welcome to all my South Florida friends and my people across the country. Tonight, we really got a great show. We have special guests with us tonight. We have Delroy Clark, who happens to be just come on board with All County Healthcare. He's our new vice president of All County Healthcare. Delroy was CFO, I think, with YMCA of New York, Delroy?
Controller with the YMCA.
Controller of New York, okay? So quite a position. And he said, you know, I want to go into the healthcare industry. He has a wife right now that's an RN, a nurse. They moved down here. They bought a home down here, and we're happy to have him on board. Tonight, we're going to try to have an informative meeting. Informative by telling you what's happening in healthcare in the industry today. I think we talked about it once before, and if you're listening today, please listen closely to what we're trying to tell you. Home health is what healthcare. Let's go back to healthcare. Healthcare with Medicare was part of the Social Security Reform Act. It was signed into law by President Kennedy at the time and President Johnson in 1968. He said to people, you know, when you're 65, you're going to have health care. Well, they thought it was great because at that time, all private insurances were paying for it. So he promised people at 65, when you retire, or if you're totally disabled, you got the ability to go on what's called Medicare. At that time, it was paid for. So you folks out there now, you've been paying for Medicare all your life since you've been working. Delroy now, he came to work for a company. We basically work at a company called All County Healthcare. All County Healthcare is a Medicare certified agency. The state of Florida offers 4 licenses. One license happens to be what they call a nurse registry license. You have a lot of home health aides, CNAs, home health aides, nurses. Another is what they call a companion license. Now, you got to be careful with this because a companion license tells you you can have a companion in a home to do shopping. And you can also do transportation. But he can't touch the patient. The girl working for the companion company cannot touch the patient. No hands-on. The other 2 licenses are you have what we call a non-Medicare agency license, and you have a Medicare certified agency license, which we are. All County happens to be a Medicare certified agency license. What that means, we're able to do, from referrals, we're able to take care of people when they come out of the hospital at no cost to the individual because it's covered under Part A. Medicare gives you Part A, you pay for Part B, and then you sometimes buy a supplemental. But as the years progressed, what happened is these HMOs came into existence, the Humanas of the world. I might get in trouble, but I'm going to say it anyway. The Humanas of the world, the AvMeds of the world, the Aetnas of the world, the Blue Cross Shields of the world, the Joe Namaths of the world that are up there to advertising all these wonderful things you're going to get it. For nothing. Imagine you're going to get all these things for nothing. Well, let me tell you something. If you're on Medicare, please stay on Medicare because you've been paying for that all your life. And that's the best program to stay on because it offers you many, many things. People have come up and asked me, well, why should I get on this Humana plan? Or I can get this AvMed plan? They promised me all these things, and I don't have to pay a cent. Well, sometimes the promises, don't promise. Sometimes they promise you a little too much. You might not get it all. Now, Delroy came aboard with us. Delroy's wife right now is an RN. She's working with us. She's even doing COVID patients. Am I correct, Delroy?
Correct.
Now, you've seen what's happened in the home care industry a short time you've been there. What is happening? There's a shortage of nurses, a shortage of everything today. So people are always looking for help. Fortunately, we have enough nurses that we cover all our cases. Now, Delroy, you see the type of services that we provide. Now, you've been around. Your wife's been around. Would you say that All County really cares about the patient base?
Well, yes, All County really cares about the patient. And we're not just about the bottom line. Our intention and our goal is to make sure the patient gets taken care of. For example, if our nurses go out and are in the home and they will check around, if there's no food in the house, we recommend, that you take care of the patient holistically, not just. We don't just look at the bottom line.
Well, and that's coming from the accountant saying, don't look at the bottom line. Yeah. All he does is look at the bottom line. But he's saying that, no, he knows that we don't look at the bottom line. What we're saying is when a nurse goes into a home, we do a complete home assessment, meaning if that patient has the potential of falling because of rugs on the floor that shouldn't be there, and they realize in the bathroom there are no handrails, that people might need handrails, we'll suggest that. Or we'll find out, hey, the patient doesn't have any food in the refrigerator. We'll call in a social worker to make sure that that patient has what she needs. All right, what she needs is to go on. Because right now, a lot of these senior patients are living on a fixed income, and they got to make a decision. Am I going to buy food or am I going to buy my medication? Well, we're going to make sure they're going to get their medication, and we're also going to make sure they're going to get their food. If we have to, we'll call, as I said, a social worker in. What are the services that you think that you would like as a senior? As you're growing older, we're all growing older. That's part of life. As we're growing older, you never think about getting sick. I've been in this business 40 years. You talk to a senior about getting sick, they don't want to believe you. But guess what? Sooner or later, if we live long enough, we're all going to have to need some kind of care. I always say you come into this world, you come into this world once as an infant. You're only an adult once, but you're an infant twice. You come in as an infant, and if you live long enough, you might have to be treated like an infant again by saying you might be in diapers, you might be bedbound, you might be a lot of things. So you've got to make sure that you're preparing for no matter how much money you have or what you don't have, when you're doing your estate planning, whatever that may be, make sure you put enough aside to say, listen, I got to make sure I have enough for my health care. I don't want to go on, if I have to, I don't want to go on so-called Medicaid, because Medicaid is a state-run, and Medicare is federally run. Although it's state-run, the federal government supports the Medicaid program. It funds it in most states, right? So what do you expect? So what does Medicare Part A cover? Medicare Part A covers the hospital expense, 100% of hospital expense. They also cover the Part B, the doctor's expense, but there's a 20% differential there that has to be paid for. That's why we say to individuals, make sure that you get yourself a good supplemental policy. They can range from anywhere from $199 up to $300, whatever you want to afford, depending upon your income. But the supplemental policy covers that 20% that Medicare doesn't cover with the doctor or the hospital. So you're covered. Now, when people say, oh, I've just switched over to this other program, I'm going to get this, this, and this. Now, let me tell you the true story about that. Prior to the so-called Obamacare Act, Obamacare, and they'll question me on this, but I believe the private industry, private insurance, the Humana's, the Admeds, the Blue Crosses, at the time was spending 60 cents on medicine and 40% was going to the bottom line or to salaries and promotion. How do you think, come October 1st through December, and as you see on television today, All these ads are going on TV about call this, get this free, get that free. Joe Namath, all these big stars are advertising these programs. Where's that money coming from? That money is coming from the cost that they would be spending on medicine, they're spending on advertising. You never see an ad for Medicare say, listen, join Medicare. You never see an ad for Medicare because Medicare spends 99 cents almost on every dollar on Medicare. These other companies, right now, until Obamacare came in, were spending 60 cents. Obamacare forced them to spend 80 cents. That means 80 cents of their dollars go into care. If they don't spend that 80 cents, they have to refund some of that money back to their insured policyholders. So why would you want to take a program that the government guarantees you that you paid for all your life and switch to a private industry for profit? The government's not for profit. The private industry is for profit. I have more calls that come in to me and say, hey, Lou, my dad got sick. First question, what kind of insurance does he have? Well, he has Medicare. We'll come to find out, without them knowing it, he switched. Most seniors don't know the insurance they have. Most family members of seniors don't know the insurance that they have. So as we go through this whole thing, we're saying, okay, when we look at it, we run what they call a MECA. We find out that they're on another plan out of Medicare. And it's very hard for them under this policy to get the home care they need. When we do a patient, Delroy will tell you, that patient comes on to us, it's a 60-day episode. It might end in 30 days, it might end in 15 days, but the patient has a 60-day episode. When you're going with some of these other companies, right? Matter of fact, Delroy, we just got a list of what they wanted to pay us, right? For care. Companies are soliciting us because they can't get nurses. Will we do their care for them? These are companies that are managed care companies we call managed care Medicare Advantage companies. They send us a list of prices they're going to pay us. They're paying us, Delroy, I believe, less than what we pay the nurses.
Right, they're paying us
less than what we pay our nurses.
nurses.
I said, we can't do it. We pay our nurses more than that, right? So they want to give us, so who's going to do that type of care? If they paying us less than we pay our staff, how do you make a living with that? How do you stay in business? You can't. Now, if you've got to get care, they might give you 2 days of care, 3 days of care, then you got to reapply for more authorization. So, Medicare Advantage versus Medicare. It's like almost a football game. On one side, they're all Americans, and the other side is all rookies. I want to be with all the All-Americans. Okay? Now, if you go to a doctor and you ask him, first question he asks you is, what kind of insurance do you have? This happened to me a number of times. Well, they ask you, what kind of insurance you have? First of all, I said, when can I get it? Well, we really don't have an opening for 3 months, 4 months. They're assuming I'm a Medicare Advantage patient. When I tell them I got Medicare and Part A, Part B, they also say, oh, Mr. Biazzi, we just had a cancellation. You can come this week, right? Why? Because they know they're going to get paid, right? Medicine has become money. It's all about the money. Doctors are being underpaid. They have to get paid. They have to provide their services. So when you go in and see a physician in the hospital or anything else, they're looking at the insurance. Who's going to pay me the most money for the service I'm going to render? And how fast am I going to collect that money? For instance, if we have some companies will say, okay, we're going to pay you this, but pay you half of it, right? Sue us for the rest, right? So that's what's happening with medicine today. So we're saying to you, if you're listening, please, you have a choice. Medicare, Medicare Advantage. Straight Medicare, the red, white, and blue card, never give that up. Right now, we're going to take a little break. It's a 15-minute interval. Freddie, can we take a little break right now? Thank you, folks.
All County Healthcare has exciting news for any and all patients with COPD or other respiratory ailments. Listen to what renowned pulmonologist Dr. Keith Robinson has to say.
Hello, I'm Dr. Keith Robinson, board-certified pulmonologist, medical director at Fusion Health Pulmonary Rehabilitation, and a board member with the American Lung Association of South Florida. We have exciting news for patients with COPD. We now offer IPV therapy at home, which has been demonstrated to improve airway clearance, decrease hospitalization, and improve quality of life of patients with COPD. Please call All County Healthcare for more information about this FDA-approved therapy.
For further information, call All County Healthcare now at 954-717-7027. That is 954-717-7027. Or visit our website at allcountyhealthcare.com. You can also find us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Remember, All County Healthcare always puts the patient's needs first. You are listening to You and Your Doctor, Living Longer and Healthier, an informative show that helps you find answers to questions you always wanted to ask but did not have that somebody that could make a difference in your life. Call into the show if you have a question at 888-565-1470, and we will put you on the air to inform all our listeners. Now, back to our show.
Welcome back, folks. I know we've been talking about Medicare, Medicare Advantage, etc. Delroy right now just asked me something over the intermission here. He said, Lou, under Part A, Delroy, under Part A, I think they get Medicare for free. They get home care for free.
Correct.
Under Part A, home care is free to them. What does that mean? So you're entitled to home care under Part A free, no charge. So when you think the doctor's going to order home care for you, don't be concerned because there's going to be no charge under the Medicare Part A. Okay? Now, that program, Medicare says you're on for a 60-day episode, or as long as it needs to be that you get better, that you're healing and you're progressing. You can stay on home care as long as you need it, as long as you're progressing. On the other side of it, the Medicare Advantage side, I believe, if you're looking to look at that, you have to get authorization for so many visits to give you, and then you're going to want more authorizations, right? Now, if you fail to get an authorization, am I correct, Elroy?
Correct.
You don't get paid.
No, you don't.
And as an accountant,
that doesn't help. You have to be able to
run your company.
Your services, run your company. There's a triangle to every company. You have sales, collections, and production. Any one of those fail, your entire organization failed. So,
right, what Delroy is saying, if you could run any company providing you have three ingredients, am I correct, Delroy?
3 ingredients.
You need salespeople, which we have. You also need nurses, which is the production aspect of it. And then there's the collection aspect of it. So if you have those three elements, you've got a successful company. Now, going back to what we're talking about on healthcare, what do you get with All County? All County now has invested tremendous amounts of money, Delroy, as you know. Right. We have a thing called IPV. Explain to the folks what IPV is, interpulmonary ventilation.
So interpulmonary ventilation is a machinery that basically clears your lungs if you have COPD. We have a pulmonary specialist that administers this treatment to the patient. It's free of cost to the patient. It's not reimbursed by Medicare, so we at All County give it to our patients for free to ensure that they have the best care that we possibly can give. So,
well, we don't really give it for free. We got to tell what we do. We get paid for the nursing,
right?
But the pulmonary ventilation system, the IPV unit, which we've invested over $100,000 in the units, to make sure that our patients can have the best of care if they have COPD or respiratory ailments. I mean, we treated a number of patients in this. For instance, Cleveland Clinic has it. Right now, Coral Springs has it. They have treatments that we've introduced to seniors who can't live without this IPV treatment. Because if they can't breathe, they're re-hospitalized. They're in and out of the hospital. And that's costing them tremendous amount of time and money for the people for readmissions. They call readmissions. So what they're trying to do is Medicare's trying to reduce the readmissions to cut the cost. So when we did our complete clinical study on these patients, we kept the patient out of the hospital for over 12 months. The average stay right now could be 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they're back in the hospital, getting treatment again. Now, you've heard of COVID. COVID right now is a respiratory disease. It's a breathing disease. They're on a ventilator. Sometimes they don't get off the ventilator until they pass away. So I hope all of you out there be aware. You have your shots, you're getting your medication, you're getting your vaccines, you're taking social distancing, you're masking, because Florida right now is in terrible shape as far as the number of COVID patients. Now, we treat COVID patients. A lot of companies can't treat COVID patients. So we go into the hospital, we go into the home with our nursing, with all the PPE equipment, personal protection equipment. That means the mask, the face, the mask. They have a special mask where we fit it to the nurse, the gowns, the shoes, the hats, everything. So they basically, once they leave that house, they take it off and they destroy it. They throw it away. Every time they see a patient, they get a new outfit. So we've invested in all that PPE equipment. Right now, our nurses, we've had nurses with us 15, 20, 30 years. You had a nurse right now that you heard on the one of our commercials, Deanna. She's been with us a number of years, right? Now, here's the question: when our nurses go in and they see the patient, they don't only treat the patient for what the doctor ordered. They do a complete assessment: bed sores, home assessment, fall detection. They want to make sure the patient doesn't fall prevention. So what we've done for you people, we produce what we call a patient handbook. This patient handbook has taken us years to develop. We will give it to you free. All you got to do is call Delroy at our office, 954-717-7027. That's 954-717-7027. This patient handbook, as I call the All-County Bible, you've got to have it, right? It tells you about everything you want to know about healthcare. It tells you about ACA. It tells you about the medications you're taking. It tells you about, I even think it tells you about, if I'm correct, herbs, right? Herbs
Yes.
has fall prevention in there. Please, if you want one, we will send one out to you. Just call Delroy, and if you have any questions, call Delroy at 954-717-7027. If he can't give you the answer, I'm sure he'll call me. If we can't give you the answer, we'll find the answer. Now, I want you to know one thing. Delroy, you understand that home care is a personal choice, correct?
Correct.
Whose choice is it? It's the patient's choice.
Patient's choice.
It's the patient's choice. Now, that means you have a choice. You, as a patient, can go to any home care agency you want. So if the doctor writes something other than All County and you want to go to All County, you tell the doctor, listen, I've been listening to these gentlemen on All County, what they have and what they're doing, right? I want to use All County. And you make sure when the case manager comes in, they have to give you a choice. They're going to try to push you where they want to push you, but we're suggesting, please, if you have need home care, make sure you call the best. I'm not bragging. I'm just telling you, we've been in it for 40 years. We're locally owned. We've got a 4.5-star rating with Medicare. Not too many companies have 4.5-star rating. Am I right, Delroy?
Correct.
We also have a 5-star rating.
Customer service.
Customer satisfaction, 5-star rating. We don't do that rating. That's done by a third party. So if you got a 4.5-star rating with somebody and a 5-star rating with customer satisfaction, you can't get much better than that. I don't think. Well, you get a 5-star rating, but it's a very hard medicine, right? So when you look at these restaurants and you go in a restaurant guide, you see 3 stars, 2 stars, 4 stars. We have a 4.5-star rating for home care agency. Check us against all these other home care agencies. See how many 4.5-star companies there are right now around Fort Lauderdale, around Florida. Now, we service Palm Beach, Broward, and Dade County. We've been in it for 40 years.
What does those 4 stars mean?
What does 4 stars mean? That's a good question. Medicare rates you by the satisfaction. Are you performing up to their standards now as far as quality care, as far as documentation, as far as anything and everything that they have to do to rate you as a company? So it's just like a restaurant. Why would you rate it correctly 4.5-star or 3-star, 2-star? somebody goes in there and says, listen, the quality of this is no good, the quality of that's no good, the food's okay, but the service was bad. Listen, when you get a 4.5-star rating, we're a half-star away from 5-star rating. Very hard to get 100%. We're 99.9% is probably up to Medicare standards or beyond Medicare standards. But you can go in, you can go and look at this for your own self. Now, how many minutes do I have? I have for 2 minutes. So all I want to do is remind you again, if you have any questions of what kind of policy you have or what kind of insurance you have, call us at 954-717-7027. Now, All County is also providing them with American telemedicine, aren't they?
Yes.
If the patient needs it, they're picking up the charge.
Yes,
All County's
we
picking up
will.
the cost.
Correct.
That means they're putting a telemedicine product in your home. As long as you're on service was being monitored, that means you're being monitored daily for your blood pressure, for your weight, for your temperature, for your glucose reading, if you have diabetes, a number of items. And that's provided free for them, right?
Correct.
All counties pick up. They don't charge Medicare, and they don't charge you. So you have a number of things that we do that no other agency does. So please, I'm telling you again, please, if you're going to be in healthcare and you're going to need home health, remember the only company you should use is All County Healthcare. 954-717-7027. Am I correct? Delroy?
Correct.
And if you have a problem, Delroy Clark will answer it. He'll handle it personally. Delroy, right? Your number is 954-717-7027. And you're there every day,
There every day.
from 8:30 in the morning to 6 o'clock at night, right? So please, if he can't handle it, you call me personally, Lou Biazzi, right? Freddie, we almost finished. We got more time. 1 more minute. So what are you going to talk about last minute? So Delroy,
Remember now, this IPV treatment is done in the home. You don't go outside to get the treatment. We bring the treatment to you. Right? So you don't have to worry about mixing with COVID patient. Now I know it's a serious time. People don't want to go out the house. The IPV treatment is done in your home.
now you've seen the success, right, Delroy?
Yes.
People have called. Go on our website. What's our website,
Our
Delroy?
website is www.allcountyhealthcare.com. Go on the website, you'll see the testimonials on the IPV treatment. Again, and if you need any further information, you can call us at 954-717-7027.
Don't forget our website has a whole bunch of information. It's All County Healthcare. Please go to it. See the testimonials. And if we have 1 minute, I want to tell you one story. We had one lady, one individual. We got to go? Next time we'll tell you the story. Thank you so much and have a lovely evening.
Thank you for letting us share with you a longer and healthier lifestyle. If you have a doctor or are a doctor and wish to be on the show, call AMP2 TV at 866-244-5422 and we will put you on the air as soon as possible. Tune in next week for more information on living longer and having a healthier life.